Black Friday sales in full effect. If you want your brand, your business, or your song promoted, hit me up right now to find out how you can get it done for just $49. The email is ogod@hiphopun.com. That's ogod@hiphopun.com. Stick around, but let's start off with TD Jakes, man, because
Your boy.
yeah, man, a lot of rumors have been circulating. I think it may have been a TikTok video or something. I could be wrong. It was like the origination of the rumor that he's a frequent visitor of Diddy's parties. Now we seen him and Diddy in pictures together. They got a pretty decent friendship from all we know. But information started coming out that he allegedly was going to these sex parties. He was frequently going there and he was getting down and dirty in them. He came out, the pastor. He came out during the sermon and kind of touched on it. In my opinion, I think he made it worse for himself, but he touched on it a little bit. No pun intended. You know what I mean? But he talked about the subject a little bit. Didn't really name no names, but everybody knew what he was talking about. Then I hear people telling me that he took the video down, which I haven't been able to confirm, but it's still up everywhere right now. Right. What's your thoughts though, man? TD Jakes, Pastor TD Jakes, caught up in a crazy scandal like this.
When we first heard of TD Jakes and he got popular amongst the hip hop community heavy. That's a fact, right?
Yeah.
Can't deny that. And when he got hot, it was during an age where a lot of things were getting hot and heavy. That's a fact. So one can't leave it out of the realm of speculation or the thought of it really happening, that it did happen.
Right.
Shit like that happened. And when you listen to his, I guess, response to the whole situation, it's a lot of deflection, man.
Ooh.
It's a lot of deflection.
You think he's up in there?
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, I don't know what he was doing, but in a party or two, yeah, I think he was slid up in a couple of the parties. What happened? Who knows? And I think that a lot of as we see a lot of crazy stuff going on, and as we can kind of argue maybe things aren't and are true, whatever the case may be, there is some truth being thrown around into this stuff. And we can't, this is why we got to be careful and just make sure we pay attention to everything, because some things can be facts, some things can be false. And when you look at the paper trail and how things line up, things got too hot to where he had the response, but it doesn't look like he was ready to respond, because the truth shall set you free. And he looked like he was in bondage like a motherfucker on that goddamn stage.
He did.
So, man, I don't know.
He looked like he was deflecting.
Yeah.
He looked like a shit ton of bricks just landed on him.
Yeah, bro.
That's what his face looked like. Oh my God, they know.
They know.
Oh my God, they found out my secret.
Whoa.
That's what it looked like to me. And he did a poor job. I thought he dug a bigger hole, for himself for even addressing it. Like, I think you even too big to even address it at this point. Just let the rumor roll.
Niggas was looking at him in church like,
right,
shaking their heads.
And that's why it's a possibility. I think it could be true that he was there. He's more so, mad at that information came out, and then it seems like you trying to kind of like deflect and put the word of God and shit out there. Nah, nigga, if you're gonna address it for real.
Word.
Address it. Rumors have been circulating about me, going to sex parties.
Yeah, doing some wild stuff.
Right. I would never do nothing. I'm happily married, but he ain't say none of that. He said some other stuff.
Yeah.
That made you think like, huh? And then from right here on his website, wherever it was, they took that video down because probably the negative backlash that he got from it. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was true.
Yeah, me
because again, at the end of the day, they're human beings. Yeah, he's a human being. He's a figurehead as much holy as we think he is, and we think that he may be closer to God or God's in his ear. Everybody could have a connection to a God. You know what I mean? It was never nobody higher than another person. He could talk to God. You could talk to God. We just put him on this pedestal. We give him all our money, and we think that, he's that dude. And at the end of the day, I kind of measure these dudes by not how much money they got, not if they can fly around in private jets, but what are they really speaking out against what's really going on? And the answer is no. You're lulling people to sleep with the prosperity doctrine, let having people think that they're going to get some, prosperity somewhere in heaven somewhere else, and to you would rather them give you their last than to invest money in something that could give them a benefit in the end. And that's all of these televangelist preachers. I'm not gonna talk about local preachers,
Right.
and I'm not shitting on preachers.
Right.
I'm just because I've seen a lot of preachers do a lot of great work
Facts.
in the community, soup kitchens,
Genuine ones.
yeah, programs for people, drug programs, all that. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about these big televangelists that's doing nothing but getting money, but ain't doing shit, ain't giving nothing back, ain't talking, ain't speaking out because they want to keep their 501(c)(3) status. So eventually, essentially, the government's telling them, yeah, you could not pay no taxes, but don't you ever, ever, ever speak up about what's going on out here. Ever, ever, ever. As a matter of fact, you're going to do what we tell you to do, and that's that. If you think you ever going to go outside, out of bounds of what we want you to do, we're going to strip that from you, and you have to pay us taxes. That's just the way it is.
T.D. Jakes, the Joe Osteen, Creflo Dollars,
Benny Hinn.
You know what I'm saying? They excuse me, these type dudes. You can, and we've seen it for years. This ain't the first time this brother's name. If you ride around in Bentleys and private jets and you wearing 3-piece suits and you got gold and silver and platinum jewelry on, bro, you in hip hop.
Yeah, yeah.
You living a hip hop lifestyle.
Right.
So what makes you think you wouldn't be sitting up in a Diddy party if you was in Bishop's in the building? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh
Bishop.
shit, Bishop's in the building. And here come the women and here come the men and whatever else you may need at one of Diddy's parties.
Man.
And what you think, Bishop ain't drinking because it's Sunday night?
He drink a little wine,
He might have a little something.
a little ecstasy,
Some of the devil's nectar. You know what I'm saying? Might have a little something. Do you never know what might happen?
a little cocaine.
You know what I mean? Whatever floats the fancy on a Sunday evening, Bishop. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, some of that stuff got recorded. Or what do you think about, I don't know if you heard this, it was an argument made that Cassie got a hold of Kim Porter's burner phone. And then that burner phone had the situations of Bishop with Diddy in these situations. And that was kind of the smoking gun to start all of this. What do you think about that? That's what I was
wouldn't
hearing.
be surprised. I wouldn't be. A lot of this shit is true, man. A lot of stuff that we sweep under the rug. No, this couldn't be. He couldn't be. A lot of this stuff can be true. As much people that might feel like we're blasphemy, the bishop and all of that. I'm gonna say this, man. Like I look at him like just a regular person at the end of the day. He was able to get a large following and whatnot. He got books and shit, Woman Thou Loose and all that. And a lot of people, church people follow him. That's fine with me. But at the end of the day, I look at him like an individual. He's a human. He's a person who can make mistakes. He ain't God. And he ain't Jesus. And he ain't following the representation of Jesus with all that prosperity shit.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. Because last time I checked, Jesus was out in the street.
Talk about it.
You know what I mean? He didn't have no shoes on. He was out with the people. Really, and he wasn't in no mansions and shit.
He wouldn't have no big ass white horse riding him around like AKA
Right.
Bentley driving in this bitch.
Right. So that's the fundamental, one of the fundamental problems with me with the church, any religious organization. It's like they taking so much money, man. But what do they do with it in return as a whole? What do they do with it in return? They take a lot of the black community's money, a lot, to the tune of billions of dollars. But what are they doing with it besides feeding the pastor, building up the pastor, sending his kids to school and shit, keeping these buildings that you use once or twice a week furnished, the lights on, all that shit. Where's the money going, man? Hey, that's just the way I feel about it, man. And it's gonna take a lot to convince me otherwise.
We're gonna end on that, man. That was dope.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your boy Kanye, man, because as Christmas was ending, man,